All right, guys, I just wanted to put together a little self-love yoga class for you guys. Self-love and yoga are like my two favorite things, so might as well. Our kind of theme for the class obviously is going to be self-love, but we're also going to focus on our heart chakra, our Anahata chakra. A lot of people think the color of love is, or the color of the heart is like red or pink or, Valentine's Day colors. But our chakra color is actually a bright green, so if you want to envision a bright green just like radiating out of your chest through this practice, that's awesome. You guys also know I love my crystals, so I have all my rose quartz crystals. I think the best crystals for self-love and for the heart chakra are rose quartz, because rose quartz is a crystal of love. So I have this little rose quartz heart, which you have a chance of winning one like this if you complete our self-love challenge. I also have this really cool rose quartz skull that I got today, just like chunks of rose quartz, and then any green crystals, obviously, because green is the color of our heart chakra, so I have a little green aventurine, green tourmaline, jade. Anything green is also good for your heart chakra. So yeah, we are going to get started on our backs today. So go ahead and find a comfortable spot on your mat, on your back. Sorry, I'm a little sniffly still. I'm just getting over a cold. So you can actually keep your knees bent. If you want to put your knees together so they have a little bit of support, you can. You can always put a bolster or a blanket under your knees. And I want you to bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your chest. So one hand over the heart, one hand over the belly. And I want you to breathe here. Don't change anything about your breath. Just bring your attention to it. Notice how it goes in and out through your nose. Envision it as it goes in and out through your nostrils. Bring yourself to your breath, to the present, to your mat. And I want you, if you can, to focus on your heartbeat. Even if you can't feel it with your hand, just, it's there. Envision your heart beating. And then for the hand on your stomach, I want you to really, really take some deep belly breath here. So when you inhale, you're feeling your chest expand, your belly expand. I want you to let go of any tension you have in your belly. In our society, it's forced down our throats as women, even as men. Anybody, you have to suck it in. You have to suck in your stomach. Can't have a stomach. We're letting go of that today. I want you to push out your stomach, even as far as it'll go. Just release all that nonsense of you have to suck in your stomach. You don't have to suck in your stomach. I want you to let your stomach be your stomach and let it all out. So we're breathing nice and big now. Feeling your chest expand, your belly expand. And today's about having an open heart. So we're going to be doing a lot of, as it sounds, heart openers, chest openers, opening up that heart chakra, and being open to love, being open to loving yourself. No judgment, just letting that love come inside. A couple more big breaths here. One more big breath, big inhale. Expand the belly, expand the chest, expand everything. Then exhale, relax. You can open your eyes if they were closed. Now it sounds cheesy, but I just kind of want you to give yourself a big hug here. So you're wrapping your arms around your chest. You're kind of reaching for your shoulder blades. You can rock your legs from side to side. Start to get a little movement going. Give yourself a nice big hug. And go ahead and release. We're going to bring our knees up to our chest. I love to do twists. Twists are very detoxifying, and in this case, we're going to be detoxing all that negativity, anything that we don't love about ourselves. Imagine when you're twisting, your body is wringing out like a towel. We're wringing out all that nastiness. We don't want that. So you can either bring your arms out to a T. You can goalpost your arms, whatever feels good. You inhale here. Exhale, drop your knees over to one side. You can gaze in the opposite direction if it feels good. forget to breathe. Bring your head back to center first. Inhale, bring your legs back to center. Exhale, drop them over to the other side. Maybe gaze over your opposite shoulder. Head back to center, knees back to center. I want you to wrap your arms around your knees. Give your knees a nice big hug into your chest. You can maybe rock from side to side. And then we're going to rock and roll the length of our mat. I want you to do it a couple times. Show your spine some love until you can come all the way up to seated and then tabletop. So you rock up and down your mat, feeling getting some kinks out in your spine until you can come all the way up. And then we're going to take it straight to our tabletop. So tabletop, you're going to start in neutral spine. Shoulder, elbow, and wrist are in line. Your hips are over your knees. You guys know I love my cat-cow, so we're going to start there. Inhale, gaze goes up, expand your chest, raise your chin. Exhale, drop your head, dumb out your shoulders, round out your spine. Inhale to open up. And exhale to round. Repeat this about 3 or 4 more times on your own breath. You can take any movements here that feel good. You can rock your hips from side to side. Listen to your body. A big part about self-love is listening to what your body has to say. If that doesn't feel good, don't do it. If it feels great, do it some more. It's so simple when you break it down, and yet we somehow as humans make it so much more complicated than it needs to be. One more round, linking your breath to your movement. Then go ahead and return to your neutral spine. We're going to take, again, some twists here in our tabletop. We're really trying to focus on letting go and releasing all of that toxic nonsense, anything that says you aren't what you're supposed to be, or society says we don't like that. Well, guess what? We don't care. We love ourselves anyways. So we're going to start with the right hand. You're going to inhale, open up. Exhale, thread the needle. You're bringing your shoulder to the mat. Gotta get all these curls out of the way. You can keep that left hand in front of your face. You can extend it overhead, or you can even take a half bind behind your back. Whatever feels good for you and your body. When you're ready, bring that left hand right in front of your face, press into it, open back up for a counter stretch, and then release. Now we'll take it to the left side, so inhale, opening up that left arm, exhale, threading the needle. Repeat whatever you did on the other side on this side, so however you place your arm, do the same here. Then go ahead and bring that right hand right in front of your face, press into it, opening back up, and then coming back to our table. So from our tabletop, we're going to take our puppy pose, which is pretty big back bend. It's one of my favorite ways to open up my upper back. So again, when you think of a back bend, you're thinking of, yes, you are bending your back, but you're also opening up the heart. So that's where the term heart opener comes from. Any back bend you do, you're opening up your front side. So yeah, you are bending your back, but it's more of a front opening. So we'll take our puppy pose. So you're setting up the same as your table. Your hips are going to stay over your knees. And then you're just going to walk your hands out. So your goal is to bring your chest to the mat. If you can't do that, you can always put a block underneath your chest. And you're gazing up towards your hands. You can feel it in your chest, and your shoulders, and your neck. When we're opening up that heart chakra, just think about, again, opening up, being open to love. Think about that bright green color of your heart chakra. Right. From here, you're going to slowly slide forward. So slide your chest forward, bending at the elbows. You're coming straight to your Sphinx pose. So Sphinx is another back bend. It's a very mild back bend, but it's meant for your upper back. The key here is you don't want to drop that chest and shrug into your shoulders. You're really pushing in to the mat, trying to push your shoulders away from your ears. You can feel that opening up your chest, opening up your upper back. You're trying to gaze upwards, chin is up. Imagine, I mean, it's called Sphinx, as you can imagine the Egyptian like sphinxes kind of sit like this. Again, we're opening up that heart. Now we're going to take it to a cobra. If cobra pose is too intense of a back bend, you can totally stay here in your Sphinx. We're actually going to slowly walk it up to our cobra. So what I want you to do from here is just straighten your arms. And now we're going to start to walk our hands back one breath at a time, and you're going to feel that stretch start to move up and down your spine. So we breathe, we walk them back a little. Again, try not to shrug your shoulders up to your ears, pushing back, feeling that back bend, that chest opener. Again, scoot back, and stop wherever you're comfortable. If you get to a point where you're like, oh, no, that doesn't feel good, go back or stop there, don't go any farther. And then I'm just going to take one more to my full cobra. Again, not dropping into my shoulders, I'm pressing down. This is an active stretch. Also, something we tend to do here is like tighten up our butt muscles super tight and everything's tense. Try to relax your glutes. We're focusing on our upper body here. One more breath here. And exhale, you can slowly release. Take a little breather here. I'll give us a couple breaths. You can bring your arms to kind of fold in front of you and rest your forehead on your hands. Back bends can be super intense, so don't feel bad if you have to take a break. Back bends are also really energizing. This is a great, back bends are a great thing to do like first thing in the morning. Get your blood pumping. Wouldn't recommend them right before bed because again, they're energizing. You probably do this and be like, oh my god, yay, now I have energy, I don't want to go to bed. Alright, when you're ready, you're going to bring your hands right beneath your shoulders. We're going to go to our downward facing dog. If you need to take a tabletop and then your downward dog, totally okay. Do what works for you. When you're ready, I inhale up to my plank and straight back to my downward dog. Since this is our first downward dog, I'm going to pedal out my feet a little bit here. You can shake your head, yes and no. You can rock your hips from side to side. Again, we're listening to our body. What does our body need? When you're ready, I want you to inhale your right leg up and back, straight behind you. Exhale, you're bringing your knee into your chest. And then you're planting your foot for a lunge. You're dropping your back knee, flipping your toes. We're coming to a low lunge here. So for your low lunge, you're going to make sure your knee is right over your ankle. You can keep your hands down here on the mat. You can bring them all the way up to your thigh. Or if you'd like, we're going to take a little heart opener here. So we're going to inhale our arms straight up. You're starting to bend your back. Make sure you're not like really scrunching your low back. We're trying to stay nice and open, so I want you to bring your arms to goalposts. So you'll feel the difference from here to here. You're really opening up your chest, opening up that heart chakra, taking it all in, taking all the love. Make sure that knee is staying over your front ankle. You should feel that stretch in your hip flexor and your chest. And exhale, you can release back down. We're going to take a little bit of a hip opener here. If this is too intense, feel free to stay in your low lunge. What you're going to do is take this foot up here, kind of bring it a little bit up and to the right, so kind of going towards like the front corner of your mat. This is called lizard pose. You can open up your foot here, kind of coming to the side of your foot. So you're opening up that hip. So if it feels good, stay here. You can always put your hands on blocks if you can. Maybe lower down to your forearms. This is a very intense hip opener. So take it to where you can, just to that edge. You don't want to injure yourself. I think hip openers are great for self-love also because our hips is where we store all of our emotion. So this can kind of help release anything that we've been holding in our hips. All right, you just go ahead and come back to your hands. Put that foot down, scooch it back in between your hands. We're gonna plant our palms, tuck the back toes, and go back toward downward dog. If you can't, please take a tabletop in between. Again, listening to your body. You're stepping straight back to your downward dog. Pedaling it out a little bit here. And then we're gonna take it to the other side. So we're inhaling our left leg up and back this time. Exhale, knee into the chest. Planting it for a lunge. Dropping the back knee, flipping the toes. Coming to that low lunge again. Again, you can have your hands on blocks, you can have your hands on the mat. Bring it up to your thigh. Or you're gonna bring it all the way up, and we're gonna take that heart opener. So you're inhaling your arms up, and taking those goal post arms. Really opening up the chest. Again, you're feeling in the hip flexor of that opposite leg now. And you can exhale, go ahead and release. We're gonna take that lizard pose, so we're scooting our foot up into the side. We're opening up that hip. Again, if you need to stay up here, stay up here. If you can take it down, take it down. I like to get a little rock from side to side. It really gets into that hip for me. Side note, I have no idea why this is called lizard's pose. I like that it's called lizard's pose, but I've never seen a lizard do this. Maybe I just haven't spent enough time around lizards, I don't know. Go ahead and come back to your hands. You can drop that foot, scooch it back inside, coming back to that lunge. Again, planting our palms, tucking our toes, downward dog. Feel free to take a table in between. And stepping back to our downward dog. All right, when you're ready, we're actually gonna come to our knees. You're going straight to your knees. We're gonna give ourselves a little bit more love here. It's really hard to do yoga in a sweater. I'm getting really steamy, but I love it. Got a bit Target. It says yoga with a heart, so I have to wear it. All right. I want you to take a moment to close your eyes here. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can always sit on a block. You can sit cross-legged. You don't have to sit like this. The next pose we are going into does involve being on your shins like this, but we're going to sit here for a second, meditate a little bit, and then we're going to finish. So I just want you to close your eyes. Try to sit nice and tall, so don't shrug your shoulders, don't arch your back, just neutral spine. I can feel my heart beating. I want you to bring your mind back to your heart, your Anahata chakra. If you want, you can bring your hands to your belly, you can bring your hands to your heart, whatever feels good. Or if you want to feel that love. My tummy is my least favorite part of my body, but we're working on it. I love it 50,000 times more than I used to. So I'm going to put my hands on my tummy, and I'm just going to feel it. As I breathe, I feel it expand. Again, we're not sucking anything in. No more sucking in. Not allowed. Nice big deep breaths. You're feeling your chest engage, extend, your tummy extend. I want you to give yourself a big hug. I know it's cheesy, but give yourself a nice big hug here. This you can also kind of take as a little counter back bend stretch. So you can kind of round your shoulders, kind of pulling on your shoulders with your hands, trying to pull your shoulder blades, kind of feeling that little stretch in your back. You can drop your head. It's a nice big hug. All right, you can go ahead and release. So we're going to take a camel pose here. This is a pretty intense back bend. If you can't do this, I recommend you can, if you have a yoga wheel, you can just lay back on your yoga wheel. You can take a fish pose. Just kind of know your limit. This is, if you're more of a beginner yogi, this is a pretty intermediate level back bend. I find that extreme back bends, sometimes if you're not used to it, you can kind of like get lightheaded. So we don't want you to get hurt, but take it step by step. I'll talk you through step by step and do what feels good. So I want you to come up. So again, we're staying on our shins, but you're coming up a little bit. I'm going to start us with like a little flow to kind of get us how it feels. This is a little less intense. So what you're going to do is bend down on one side. You're opening up. and then you're coming around to the other side and opening up. So this isn't too much of a back bend yet. This is just kind of like the beginner's modification. If you need a little bit more, now you're opening up full camel. You can actually bring your hand to your heel. Opening up your hips, opening up your chest, opening up the shoulders. Taking it from side to side. Do one more on each side. Again, if this is too much, you're just staying, you're not lifting your hips, you're just opening up your chest, you're staying right here. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and release. So we're gonna take it to the full expression of camel. If you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure, stick with what we just did. Stick with the beginner's modification of that little camel flow. If not, you're gonna come up to your shins. I like to start, don't just go straight back, you know what I mean? So we're gonna place your hands kind of, I have that like crease where like my hips kind of meet my upper back, so it's like right in the middle, kind of right beneath your bra line. You're gonna place your hands there, try to bring your elbows behind you. I want you to inhale, and as you exhale all your air out, we're gonna start to bend back. You're looking all the way back. Try not to scrunch your lower back too much. Slowly come back up, release. So that's kind of your little taste of camel pose. From there, we're gonna keep going further. Find what version works for you and stay there. A little bit easier camel pose. You're gonna tuck your toes so your heels are a little bit higher so you can reach your heels a little bit easier. So again, same, you're bringing your hands back. You inhale and exhale all your air out, start to bend back. Maybe you reach for your heels. Your chest is nice and open. Your hips are pushing forward. And you're breathing. Slowly, slowly release. Come down to a seat on your knees. All right, so we're gonna do the full expression of camel. Again, find which variation works for you and stick with it. So if you wanna stay there, if you wanna stay with the beginner's modification, whatever works, listen to your body. So full expression, your feet are gonna be flat on the ground. We're gonna take the same process. Inhale, exhale all your air out, start to bend back. Maybe you reach for your heels. Pushing your hips forward, opening up your chest, gazing all the way back. Breathing. And slowly, slowly, slowly release. Come to your child's pose. I like my wide-legged child's pose. Come wherever you like. After any kind of back bend, you always want to counter stretch with a forward fold. And just breathe here. Come back up to that seat on your knees. And then we're going to take it back to where we started on our backs. Take it all the way to the mat. We're going to take a little bridge pose here. So a little baby back bend. Your knees are bent. You're going to try to bring your heels as close to your booty as you can. And what you're going to do is you're going to inhale your hips straight up. So that's like the first modification. You can also, if you like, put a block underneath your hips if you need a little support. So when you're ready, you're inhaling your hips straight up. If you want to take that extra heart opener, chest opener, you're clasping your hands underneath your hips and you're scooching your shoulders underneath you. So that's giving you that extra little chest opening. Inhale one more time, push your hips up just a little bit more. And exhale, slowly release one vertebrae at a time. You can windshield wiper your legs back and forth. We're going to do that one more time. All right, when you're ready, inhale those hips straight up. Again, you can take that heart opening modification if you want. You can lift your arms overhead. It's a nice chest and shoulder stretch as well. Take whatever variation feels good for you. Inhale your hips up just a little more. And exhale, slowly release everything. Windshield wiper your legs. And as our final little self-love yoga pose, I want you to give yourself another big hug by bringing your knees into your chest. This time, I want you to raise your head up to your knees. So you're curling up into like a little tiny ball, as tight as you can get it. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Say, I love you, me. Love you, body. I appreciate you. Then go ahead and release. All the way, find your Shavasana, our favorite pose, corpse pose. Take up as much space as you need on your mat. Let your legs and arms fall wherever they want to fall. And just release everything. Release any of that toxic stuff we talked about. We twisted it out. It's gone. Don't need it. Don't need society telling us to suck our stomach in. We love our tummies. We like to feel our breath in our tummies. And I want you, as we're in our Shavasana, to repeat this mantra in your head. You can even say it out loud if you want to. I am strong, I am loved, and I am beautiful. You're just going to think that to yourself over and over here, just as a little meditation. I am strong, I am loved, I am beautiful. And you can use that mantra. I use it pretty much every day of my life. If I'm ever feeling down about myself or feeling anxious, I just remind myself those 3 little sentences. It makes me feel so much better. So our eyes are closed, our face is relaxed, your breath is back to normal. And I just want you to repeat those 3 sentences to yourself in your head as you relax in our Shavasana. I am strong, I am loved, I am beautiful. Continue to repeat your mantra for as long as you need. Stay in your Shavasana as long as you need. This is where I'm going to leave you today. I hope you feel a little bit better about yourself, about your body. Just know that your body loves you and it wants you to love it too.